Welcome to the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. You can catch us Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on FS1. Here's what this podcast is all about. It's an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the day's show, and there is a lot to get into in today's podcast. Skip says Jerry Jones prefers high risk, high reward. Shannon gives high praise for his man, Eli Manning. The guys debate the immediate sports reactions to the presidential election. Also, our man Plaxico Burress gives inside information on Mike Tomlin. Plus, UFC heavyweight champion Stipe Miočić sounds off on Conor McGregor. And former UFC women's champion Miesha Tate offers harsh words for Ronda Rousey. How do you guys feel about Undisputed in the big city?
Allow me to say thank you very much for coming out to our first show in New York City, where, by the way, this show in its former life originated as Cold Pizza, for those of you who know how far back we go, and it is great to be back in your city, New York City, in your area, the Tri-State area. Thank you.
Yes. I want to thank all of you guys for coming out and being a part of the pre-fight, because Skip about to get knocked out on live television before UFC.
And once again, Shannon Sharp shows just how delusional he can be on national television.
ESPN's Ed Werder is reporting Tony Romo believes he is healthy enough and is ready to play. Jerry Jones said when healthy, there's no one else he'd rather have at quarterback than Romo. Skip, where would you rank Romo right now among all the quarterbacks in the NFL?
Objectivity.
Here we go. You're going to get it.
Objective
You're
on
going
the
to get
Cowboys.
painful objectivity. Shannon Sharp, as I told you yesterday, I was offended by the notion that Jerry tried to sell to Cowboy Nation that Tony Romo, well, let's just put it this way. There's no other quarterback he'd rather have than a healthy Tony Romo. That may be an oxymoron because Tony's never healthy. But the point is, yesterday I said I can't fathom how Jerry could think Tony Romo is the best quarterback in football. So I did my updated rankings. This is from what I've seen so far this football season, not what I thought 2 or 3 years ago or 5 years ago. Number one, still
Obviously.
standing, is Tom Brady.
Okay.
Is there any doubt about it? Is there any doubt? No. Thank you very much. Number 2 is Ben Roethlisberger. Thank you. Number 3 is Drew Brees. I'm still impressed. I can't help it. I don't like the one-loss record, but I'm impressed by what he can do. Number 4, I got to give it to him, is Aaron Rodgers. He probably doesn't deserve that high of a ranking, but I'm going to give him 4, which leads to 5. Russell Wilson, who's had, by his standards, a beat-up, not-so-great year, but he's still 5th on my list. Matt Stafford has risen in my rankings because he has been spectacular, especially in fourth quarters. Matt Ryan has risen in my rankings. Never respected him. We got some Falcon fans there. Way to go.
Yeah.
But he is having a phenomenal, you could argue, MVP year. Cam Newton used to be in my top 5. He's just not living up to that this year, but I still got him 8th, which brings me to my 9th spot, which once upon a time was occupied by Tony Romo. And guess who has replaced Tony Romo as the 9th best quarterback in the NFL? Dak Prescott has.
Whoa!
Dak Prescott. I have consistently, over 8 games, seen Dak play at a higher, more consistently dominating level than I ever saw Tony Romo play for any 8-game stretch of his career. So I'm going Dak 9, and I still have Tony Romo, who's coming off 2 years ago, by far his best year in pro football. I have Romo as the 10th best quarterback. So Jerry has him 1, I have him 10. Thank you very much.
Oh, Skip. So not by your theory, he's not even the best quarterback in Dallas.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm not going to even argue with you. I didn't rank guys in any particular order, but these,
you didn't?
These
Okay.
are the guys that I would take in front of Tony Romo if he was healthy. Never had an injury in his life.
Okay.
Tom Brady.
Thank you.
Drew Brees.
Thank you.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Yes, sir.
Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Phillip Rivers.
I didn't put Phillip above him.
Matt Ryan.
All right.
Russell Wilson. Cam Newton. And lick 'em Eli. Now, look here, Skip. Let's we know how it goes, Skip. When I played, Skip, I would hear guys, the tight end would have a good game against us, and the coach would say, I would not take my tight end over. I wouldn't trade my tight end for any other. Now, Tony Gonzalez and I are in the league at the same time, and he said he'd rather have his guy than me or him. I get it. You want to pump your guy up, I get it. But come on, Jerry. Jerry, you know what Jerry's trying to do here, Skip? this only makes sense to him. Jerry is trying to get validation. Because this is why he's going to Jerry would rather monk up a Super Bowl opportunity and validate him by saying just how good Tony Romo is by reinserting him into the lineup. How much better can Dak play? What can Dak do? Does he need to juggle? Do cartwheels? Handstands? What can he do to convince Jerry Jones that, Jerry, don't mess this up. Just let me be me. We're running the ball. We're the best running team in football. I'm one of the most efficient quarterbacks playing the game. But see, in Jerry's mind, Jerry's like, I need those big plays. I got Dez Bryant out there. I need Dez to get the ball.
Correct.
And that's how he's thinking.
What Dak doesn't do enough of in Jerry's eyes is sell tickets. All Dak does is win football games, but that doesn't matter in the end to Jerry Jones because he wants winning and entertaining. He wants box office as well as 7-1. And Tony is box office for the right and often the wrong reasons. You never know what you're going to get. You're on the edge of your seat. As we talked about the game back in 2013 against Peyton Manning at Jerry World, it winds up 51-48 Denver because Tony throws for 5 touchdown passes and 506 yards, but with a minute left, he throws his only interception to Trevathan, and all of a sudden, gift field goal, 51-48, your team, Denver Broncos. That's Tony Romo in a nutshell.
When Tony Romo comes back and Jerry inserts him into the lineup, Tony's going to hey, guys, I'm back. The turnovers are ready because you know they're coming. As soon as he get on the field, you're going to get some big plays, but he's going to help the other team also.
All right. So that's the way it works. I have one quibble with your list. And I know we have a few New York football Giant fans here, so you're not going You're not going to like this, but there is no way I'm going to rate Eli Manning above Tony Romo. Not after Eli has led the league in interceptions, not once or twice, but 3 times. And I'm going to say it again. Eli has 2 Super Bowl rings.
Say it again.
Wait.
Say it again.
I didn't finish.
Okay.
That are lucky Super Bowl rings. Lucky Super Bowl rings. He pulled off the luckiest play in Super Bowl history. It sticks in Tyree's face mask after Eli's nearly sacked, and he throws a pass and a prayer. He closes his eyes. This is how Eli threw the pass, like this.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did, like that. And he wings it, and all of a sudden, wait, Rodney Harrison's a little out of position. What is he doing? Wait, Tyree caught it. Tyree wasn't even, in the lineup that, he was nowhere the whole year, and he catches it, it sticks in his face mask. That's how Eli won the first ring.
If you think about this, Skip, everybody on my list, I didn't even list Matthew Stafford, who I think is better than Romo.
Thank you.
He's playing right now better than Romo ever played.
I got him.
Everybody that's on my list, what do they have in common? They've at least played in the NFC Championship game. Has Romo done that?
He has not.
For Jerry, the greatest quarterback Jerry Jones has ever seen in his life, can't get to an NFC Championship game. All but three guys on my list got hardware, got jewelry. See, we like jewelry.
I agree.
I'm talking about really big rings for a really big team. And he got none of that for his team.
I agree.
So what is Jerry's criteria? If he's talking about merchandise sales, if he's talking about eyeballs, Tony Romo is his guy. Because in Jerry's eyes, Jerry, he values like this: revenue, eyeballs, Super Bowls. Most other owners say Super Bowl, revenue, eyeballs. But that's not how Jerry looks at it. For him to, in good conscience, to say he would take Tony Romo over Tom Brady. Tom Brady's rookie year? Maybe. Tom Brady today? Tom Brady yesterday? Absolutely not.
Yeah, Tony Romo's playoff record is 2-4, and one of the victories was over Donovan McNabb team they had just beaten in the final regular season game, which forced McNabb to come back to Jerry World for another playoff game, and they beat him again because that was the end of Andy Reid's team as we knew and loved it in the past, right?
Right.
And then they had a highly controversial win over the Detroit Lions in the first playoff game.
That was pass interference.
Yeah. And then, of course, Tony got robbed out of one playoff game.
Oh, he was robbed.
That was a catch up in Green Bay, and we know it because that was it. I'm sorry.
Put your hands down. No throw up, no X. That was not a catch.
Okay, so anyway, he could be, you could look at it as, let's just say he's still 2-4 because he stole one and he got robbed of one. Okay, so it's still 2-4. He's made 4 Pro Bowls in 10 years as a starter. It's just not enough. again, the box office is great because the roller coaster factor is high.
Yes.
But I'm done. I've seen enough. I want stability. I want efficiency. I want trustability, and I'm getting it with Dak Prescott, and Jerry wants high risk, high reward.
And I want to win.
I do too.
I don't care if my quarterback's throwing for 100 yards because I've been in situations where we were in Baltimore with the Ravens in 2000. We was averaging about 250, maybe 300 yards a game. But we were winning, and we ended up winning the Super Bowl. I've been on teams where we averaged 380 yards, and I had 1,000 yards. We had all this, and we didn't win the Super Bowl.
Did people pay to watch Trent Dilfer quarterback your football? No. I didn't care about that, but I did want to watch Ray Lewis, and occasionally I wanted to watch Shannon Sharp catch one ball. Just one ball. That was enough to win one game, right?
Big play, Shay.
Skip. Yeah. It didn't matter to me if it wasn't but one person in the stand.
That's correct.
As long as we won the game, I was happy. But Jerry, why can't Jerry accept winning and a chance to win the Super Bowl as opposed to looking for validation? For an owner to say, I would be disappointed. Yep. It would be one of my greatest regrets if I won the Super Bowl and he wasn't my quarterback. Winning, regret, and disappointment should never be mentioned together. Ever, 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 ever. And only Jerry Jones can say that, and people are like, wow, he really loves Tony Romo Jones. It's hard to jettison your son, Skip. I mean, if I'm a high school...
Especially when you bet the ranch on him 3 years ago, and you gave him $108 million and $55 guaranteed.
55. No, say it like you mean it, Skip. 55. 55 mil. Yep. So he needs validation. It's like, see, I told y'all. Yep. That's why I gave him all this money. He led me to a Super Bowl. Yep. And somewhere down the line, if he wins a Super Bowl, now the Hall of Fame is going to come up and like, well, hold on. They were really nothing, they were struggling, floundering around, and then Tony took them to the Super Bowl. They're going to forget all about what all the leg work the digging Dak's done,
that is
and then
correct.
Tony Romo's going to come in.
He built the foundation, except Tony will drive it right off the cliff before it's over, if he lasts that long.
Tony's the actor. It's like Denzel. They get to do a car scene that's going to run into the wall. They cut. Stunt double comes in. Yep. He drives it to the wall. That's the same thing. Yep. Dak's doing all the leg work, and then cut. Come on, Tony, week 10, week 11.
Bottom line,
I'm driving the car.
As Joy will attest, I'm fear this will be Dak's last start this year for the Dallas Cowboys at Pittsburgh, and then it'll be a Romo show from here on.
Come on, Jerry, I'm counting on it.
You have to, because you never know what you're going to get from the Steelers. I would add something to your list of priorities for Jerry Jones, though, because pride is definitely at the top of the list. Yep. Revenue, eyeballs, Super Bowls, pride's at the top of the list.
Got to add that. It's time for Tony No-No.
Let's talk more Cowboys. Next up, Cowboys wide receiver Cole Beasley said he was not mocking LeBron James after he scored a touchdown Sunday in Cleveland. LeBron is known for tossing chalk at the scorer's table, but Beasley said he's not a fan of LeBron. Let's take a listen.
He's not my type of guy. I'm a Kobe guy.
Okay.
He's a little too friendly for me on the court with other opposing players, and like he's 6'8", 260, and he goes to the bucket like he's a running back, and then wants to cry when someone touches his arm. So it's just not my type of guy, man.
Oh man, Skip.
Whoa.
Mr. Congeniality.
Are you believing this?
Do you love or hate what Cole Beasley said about LeBron?
Don't do it, Skip.
Don't do it, Skip. I love it. I was pleasantly shocked by it. Wait a second. Cole Beasley, the guy that you early on, our first couple of weeks doing this show back in September, that you disrespected to the point of paying him no respect?
Coleslaw Beasley. That's what I called him.
And I nicknamed him sarcastically for your sake, Measly Beasley, little 5'8" Measly Beasley, who is now leading the Cowboys in receptions and yards in receptions and touchdowns caught. Really? That little Measly Beasley? He showed me something to have the guts to stand up and criticize the Kang, as you call him, LeBron James. Go ahead and say it one time for me.
LeBron James.
LeBron James. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I can't tell you how much I love this because it started with a lot of the point missers on the internet leaping to the conclusion that Cole Beasley was somehow trying to mock LeBron James pre-tip-off powder toss that he does. And by the way, He stole that from the greatest player ever, Michael Jordan, which I don't understand, because how can LeBron continue to say, please don't compare me to Michael Jordan? And then he chose to wear 23, and then he adopted Michael Jordan's pregame powder toss. Michael started it. LeBron continues to use it before games. Yet Cole Beasley said, no, I wasn't doing that. That's my celebration, which is a hot sauce celebration. He's pouring hot sauce on his hands, then wiping it on his red-hot feet, because he is as quick as any slot receiver I have ever watched. So now I start to read these quotes, Mr. Sharp, and I'm saying, I see that he says, I would never imitate anything LeBron does. Way to go. Pour some coal on the fire, Cole Beasley. And then he says, he's just not my type of guy. I'm a Kobe guy. Love it. I am too. I'm a Kobe guy. And then he says that LeBron is just a little too friendly for me on the court. Way to go. I agree. And that he goes to the bucket at 6'8", 260 like a running back, which he does, but then somebody touches him on the arm and he wants to cry about it. This is from 5'8" Cole Beasley. He's just not my type of guy. I agree. I hear it. I'm with it. And Cole Beasley's stock shot through the roof for me. This little man's got some big guts.
I hate it. You see what happens when somebody starts having a little success? You see what happens, Joy? If this was Gronk, I'll say, you know what, Gronk, I can understand Gronk. This is Cole Beasley. Prior to this year, outside of Dallas, nobody even knew who Measly Beasley was. Were, had been, or who. Now, all of a sudden, he want to take a shot at a Mount Rushmore NBA player. For real? Dude was in the 4-H club. And he's talking about LeBron James, talking about he's soft. Oh, he goes to the basket like a running back, and then you touch him on the arm and he crying. Woo! Woo! Well, Cole Beasley played in 2 playoff games in his career. 2 of them scared.
But he's about to play in 3 more.
I'm counting.
Yeah, 3 more.
I'm counting. Don't worry about it. We got Jerry on our side. He gonna mess it up. Don't worry about it. Everything is all good. Skip, now you know he out of place for doing this. He's being disrespectful.
You know he was. In a good way. In a good way. In a gutsy way.
Hold up. How can you be, in a good way, disrespectful? I've never heard, oh yeah, be disrespectful to me.
And here's the final irony of this.
There's no irony.
There is irony, because LeBron James is the biggest Dallas Cowboy fan. And Cole Beasley drives home his point by saying, yeah, he came to a football game and I just walked right by him. Cole Beasley walked right by the Kang, as you call it. You're kidding. Way to go, Cole. At least he has the courage of his convictions,
because
right?
LeBron, you know why? Because LeBron thought he was the equipment guy. Like, who paid $100,000 to dress up as a Cowboy player?
We know that the little equipment man, Cole Beasley, knows who LeBron James is.
Of course he does.
And you know what? He had most guys would crumble in that moment and say, oh, I don't like him. I don't really respect him. But LeBron, I'm Cole Beasley. And shake his hand, get his autograph, get a jersey.
And LeBron would have mushed his face. Get away from me.
He would not have. He would have hugged him, and you know, like a little mascot. He
Exactly.
He would have. And yet, Cole Beasley had the guts to just say, you know what? I don't like the guy. I'm not going to say a word to the guy. I'm walking right past the guy.
Skip.
Wow.
Skip. Cole Beasley, the star on your helmet is because you're a Cowboy. You're not the star of the team, okay? It goes in ranking.
He's one of them.
No, he ain't one of nothing.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's one of the...
leads them in receiving.
He's one of the 46. Where's his jersey sales? I saw Zeke, I saw Dak, I saw Jason Witten, I saw Dez Bryant. Oh, no Measly Beasley.
After this, they might go through the roof.
They ain't going through no roof.
A lot of people are going to say,
burn them. If you get them, burn them.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. This man's going to be so... come on, Skip. And you think it's cute.
I think it's funny. I am. It's funny.
Oh, Measly Beasley.
It's funny.
As you say. Yeah. That ain't funny, Skip.
Hey, but you know what? He's backing it up on the football field. It's not like he's the 5th receiver.
You're talking like he's Gronk or Julio Jones.
I'm not saying he's Gronk. They're 7-1 in large part, because of little Measly Beasley.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If you took Cole Beasley, let me stop. You got me call this man Measly Beasley, Coleslaw Beasley. If you took him off the team, with the way they're constructed, you still got Dak, you still got Zeke, what would their record be?
They probably would have lost a couple games.
You just took
Seriously, Cole Beasley has become as tough a cover as there is in the league because I don't see anybody quicker underneath, in and out, and Dak immediately trusted his ability to beat even bracket coverage. And he's getting some bracket, he's getting some two coverage, and he's so quick, in and out, that he trusts he can just out-quick two people if necessary on 3rd and 5.
This is what happens when you play the slot and the rookie quarterback, because they're teaching you to be very, very careful with the football.
Correct.
They're not going to allow you to take chances down the field.
I would agree.
That's why Dak doesn't have the connection with Dez, because Dez's routes are a little further down the field.
Yep.
Cole Beasley's running little intermediate routes. They trust him with that. It's like, look, when all else fails, 1, 2, 3, dump the ball down to Cole Beasley. But stop pretending, Skip, like he's Antonio Brown or Julio Jones or something like that.
He's not Antonio, but he's starting to get in the conversation.
What conversation?
Yeah, he is.
Okay. Skip, you are not having a conversation? You notice Joy's not saying anything.
No.
That's Cole. That's the conversation Julio and Antonio Brown's having.
Yep.
Cole Beasley shouldn't say anything.
Have you gained respect?
Do you want to hear what I have to say about this?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
No, I do not want to hear you. Because you are a hater. You are haters. Y'all hate LeBron.
I can sit here quietly or I can roast you. It's your decision.
Go ahead.
I mean, you know I love this.
No, I know you do, because you hate LeBron.
I have a question. LeBron is running through the slot, and he's taking hits from NFL linebackers like Cole Beasley does?
Good point, Joy. Yeah.
Hold on.
Wait,
I would guess that
LeBron?
if Cole Beasley got hit one time in a game, he's been hit harder than LeBron's hit throughout the course of
you saw the man
Great point.
Serge Ibaka broke the man's nose.
Great point.
They're two different sports.
Hold on. Do you remember when Serge Ibaka, he was in Miami, Joy, bringing you joy?
I had a great time with LeBron in Miami.
Serge Ibaka broke his nose. He had to wear a mask. You remember that?
I do remember that.
It was the good old days. That's why you're in the lottery now,
Football
because he
players
left.
don't break their nose. They play with broken arms and straps all over their hands.
Cole Beasley ain't played with none of that.
He doesn't have to. He's a tough little guy.
No, he ain't tough now.
Thank you, Joy. That was some of the most wisdom we've ever had on this show.
You don't like that Cole Beasley keeps it real, though? I mean, he's just speaking his heart.
Do not mention keeping it real and Cole Beasley together, okay? Let's start with that. And you, Skip, you need to stop being blatantly disrespectful to LeBron James.
To who?
LeBron James. Put some respect on the man's name, Skip.
Last question. Have you gained any respect from the first week of Undisputed into the 9th week of Undisputed for Cole Beasley? Any respect? Just a little. Oh, please.
You can admit it. We won't judge you.
You have to give up a little respect.
I respect all 1,600 players playing international football.
No mercy. So, Plaxico, you were with the Steelers for a long time. Pittsburgh is 4-4 heading into their matchup Sunday against Skip's 7-1 Cowboys. Ben Roethlisberger said there's no reason to panic. I don't know about that. And you were just in Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago for the 15th anniversary of Heinz Field to be honored for Steelers Alumni Weekend. Yes. Do you think that the Steelers will turn it around?
You know, just like Big Ben said, there is no reason for panic. One thing about this business is that, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And he understands that. The whole team understands that. But one thing I will say is that they play in the AFC North. So, they have a big benefit there. And one thing that has to change is that, they have a guy in the backfield named Le'Veon Bell. They have to find a way to get him the football, and they're not. He has 83 carries, 376 yards, and he has no rushing touchdown. He's supposed to be the best back in football, the most complete back in all of football. Correct. And one thing about the Pittsburgh Steelers traditionally throughout time is that, they're physical, they establish the running game, and you have the best back in football, and he has no touchdown. How can you explain that?
And also, how do you explain their roller coaster ride? Because some weekends they're explosive, and some weekends they get exploded upon.
One thing that I know is that you can't double Antonio Brown and put 8 men in the box. So something has to change. Either the other receivers got to get open and make some big plays, because right now they're saying don't panic. I believe in Ben. They will turn it around, but they have to find a way to get their dynamic running back to football, Le'Veon Bell.
At this point, you are who you are. At 8 games into the season, I think it's time to panic. Maybe 1 or 2 games into the season, you can say, you know what? We got time to turn it around. but they have 11 sacks in 8 ball games. This is who they are. Now, offensively, we know they can do some fireworks. They have Antonio Brown, Sammy Coates steps up from time to time. Hayward Bay, we don't know, he suffered an injury last week. As you mentioned, Le'Veon Bell. They can do all these things, but they can't really stop anybody. You look at that defense, they don't rush the passer. They gave up 200 yards a rusher, and their back end isn't very good. So how do you expect, unless Big Ben and that offense score 40 points, how do they win ball games to get better?
If you can't stop a Baltimore Ravens offense that's ranked 28th, then that offense is going to have to put up some points.
Right.
And they can do that. But I'm just getting back to the point of, for Le'Veon Bell to have no rushing touchdowns, you mean to tell me you can't get down to the 1 yard line or 2 yard line and give him the football so he can cross the goal line? There's something wrong with that picture.
So the good news to me is, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, despite all you said about the defense, they're still 13th in points allowed, which, by the way I view that defense, that's pretty good. That's better than I thought they would be at this point. But where I didn't think they would be, the bad news is the offense has fallen to 16th in points scored. On opening Monday night, and you had the Steelers, your Super Bowl team.
Me too.
Opening Monday night at Washington, was that not a flying circus, man? Did that look like the next greatest show on turf? They just annihilated Kirk Cousins and company. It was 38-16, and I thought they are off to the races. And then one disaster after another would happen, followed by an incredible bounce back. They go to Philly, which is kind of, can you call it an in-state rival of some sort? Philly versus Pittsburgh, maybe a little bit. But they go down there and they lose 31-3. That's as shocking an outcome as we've had all year in the NFL. Then they go back home and follow it with another shocking outcome. A very good Kansas City team, now 6-2, goes into Heinz Field and loses 43-14 to Big Ben and company. And Ben throws for 300 yards and 5 touchdowns with no interceptions. QBR skill 0-100 of 98. His best game of the year. Le'Veon went off. He had 18 rushes for 144 yards, which is 8 yards a carry. He caught 5 more balls for 34 more yards. And Antonio caught 2 touchdown passes. That's the Steelers I thought we were going to see all year.
Correct.
43-14. And then you know the rest of the story. They go down to the Dolphins, and they just get embarrassed. And Ben got hurt, and obviously they lost to the Patriots without Ben at home. But I still look at a team that has won 7 of its last 8 home games, and that's including the one they could have won if Ben had been healthy against Tom Brady. I would have given them a shot in that game.
Yes.
So they've been very good at home. They're 1-3 on the road, which is not Steeler-esque sort of football. But in the end, I'm against you on this one. I am with the Steelers. I think they'll turn it around. I think they're still going to be a big factor.
Turn around and do what? Will they make the playoffs?
10-6, playoff team. Win the North.
They're playing in the AFC North.
Yep.
That's my claim to fame, is that they're playing in the AFC North.
But when I look at them, I look at their defense. Only the Raiders, the Browns, and the Colts allow more yards per play than the Steelers. Now, when we look at, the Browns. We saw the Browns Sunday, and I'm like, is that their 46-man roster? What did the guys look like that they released? We look at the Colts. We know the Colts don't play defense. We look at the Raiders. The Raiders don't play really good defense. They put a bunch of points on you. But this is not the Steelers that we know. The Steelers are known for defense.
Yeah. The Steelers are young. Everybody's getting banged up, injured. Shazier can't stay healthy. Will Gay, missed a few games. But, that defense is young. We all know that.
So they're young and banged up, but you still believe in them going forward.
I'm going back to what Skip said the first week of the season. It's opening day. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's feeling good. Everybody's excited to get this season started. But as weeks go on, guys get dinged up. You look at what happened to what happened to Big Ben last week. He didn't make bad decisions. He had 1 interception. He missed a few throws. If he makes those throws, we wouldn't be having this conversation about the Steelers.
And by the way, he rushed back from a scope surgery.
Yeah. I don't believe he rushed back. I know Ben very well. If he's capable of playing and go out and perform, he's going to go out and play. If he can't, he wouldn't play. So I think he made the right decision in going out and playing. He just missed a few throws, and we wouldn't be having this conversation if he hits Sammy Coates down the sideline and if he hits Le'Veon Bell out of the backfield. Those are big plays.
But as bad as they're playing, I know what's going to happen on Sunday. I know who I'm picking on Sunday to win.
I know who you're
picking on Sunday.
Not his team.
You might be surprised who I pick, but I'm going to say that until tomorrow.
We wouldn't be having this conversation if Tony Romo was quarterback. So we wouldn't be having this conversation about the Dallas Cowboys.
Because
I don't think they'd be 7-1.
Thank you. I would agree with that.
Okay.
All right, back to the Steelers. They have two things going for them. We just rank quarterbacks. I rank Ben as the second best quarterback on my list in all of football. And in the past, and maybe I'm still overprotecting him, I've said in the past, if I could play for an NFL coach, I would choose Mike Tomlin.
Oh, yeah.
Because just his spirit and his energy. And
love the matter of factness.
It just is. He just calls it the way it is.
Yes.
He tells players the way it is, and it's going to be this way, or you're gone. And he has been so openly, strongly honest. And I would just the speeches he gives on the sideline.
Right.
I would want to play for that guy. Now, again, does he deserve a pass this year? Or is he starting to edge onto a hot seat where we should be holding him a little more accountable?
It's hard to judge the Steelers because they had one coach for 20-plus years. They had another coach for 15-plus years. And now Coach Tomlin's been here for, like a decade. So it's hard to say because they've had three coaches in 50-plus years. So we don't know what the hot seat is because they've never fired. And since I've been alive, they've never fired a coach.
No.
So I don't know what the hot seat is for them. They don't normally. The Rooney's what we know about this franchise. They don't react to peer pressure. All the booing and this and that, they don't react to that. So I don't know what the hot button and when that time will come because we've never seen it before from this organization.
So, Plax, when you were back 2 weeks ago, just in talking to current and former players, is that team still united behind Mike Tomlin? They still believe in him?
Absolutely. I mean, Mike Tomlin is a coach that players believe in. I played for 5 coaches in this business, and every coach has stated, if you have a problem, my door is always open. Come talk to me. As a player, you kind of shy away from that a little bit, but Mike Tomlin really means that when he says it. Like as a player playing for him, you never have to wonder where you're at with him. Because he's going to tell you in a closed-door meeting, open-door meeting, in front of the whole team, he's going to let you know where you stand at, as a player, as a person playing for that organization.
Was Coughlin's door open for you?
I didn't go in his door much. So I don't know.
You just slid that check up under the door like, go ahead, coach. There you go.
Well, as up and down as the Steelers are, we'll discuss it tomorrow. I don't know that Skip is a little nervous about this game.
I'm a little nervous, like a lot nervous.
We might slide in there.
Another thing, Skip, you can't be walking around this city talking about, how about them Cowboys? That's unacceptable.
Hey, time out.
That's unacceptable.
I lived in this city the past 12 years, and I can't tell you how many Saturdays I walked down 8th Avenue to 42nd Street, and I would see 6 or 8 88 jerseys. Seriously. As in this.
And every time it was the same guys he saw from the week before. No. They're not different. He trying to fool y'all. It's the same 6 guys.
No mercy. We're joined now by the UFC heavyweight champ. Give it up for Stipe Miočić. So Stipe, McGregor is the headliner for UFC 205 on Saturday night. Do you think that he is overrated or underrated as a fighter?
I don't think he's overrated. He's a champ for a reason. The man comes in, does what he's supposed to, and, he's a great fighter. He's been there, done that, and it's going to be interesting on Saturday night.
Do you know him at all? Do you have any relationship with Conor?
No, I met him once or twice. He's a super nice guy. We had a great conversation. He dresses really well. Makes me feel like, I should probably dress up a little bit better. But, he's a great guy. I had a great conversation with him,
Let's do the hypothetical. Let's just say, for discussion's sake, that Conor McGregor would agree to fight Floyd Mayweather Jr. on Floyd's terms, boxing with conventional boxing gloves. Who wins?
You have to go with Floyd just because that's where he's from. That's what he's done. Yeah, he's one of the pound-for-pound greatest fighters of all time. But you also got to think, Conor has great confidence when he walks in. He thinks he can beat anyone, which is what you need. And it's a puncher's chance. It takes one. No matter he hits hard for his size, and anything can happen in a fight.
I have been impressed with Conor's boxing skills. Obviously, there are a lot of other things that go into a UFC fight, but he boxed Nate Diaz at a high level to me, and he's ambidextrous. He's left-handed actually, but his right is very good. So I think he could hang with Floyd and give Floyd some problems because I don't think Floyd could knock him out because I'm not sure anybody could knock Conor out because he's that crazy, like he's just going to keep coming at you.
Yeah, he does have a great chin. He's been, he'll take one to give one. You can definitely see that. I think his pressure and his timing, he has really good timing for his fighting. It's very hard to do, and he has really good timing. He sees a lot of stuff happening before it happens, which it's not many people have. And like I said, it's just a puncher's chance with him, and you can catch him. You definitely could.
We see in boxing, we see guys hold titles for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Why is it so hard to remain the champ once you get the belt in the UFC?
Is this real as it gets, man? I don't know. There's so many different aspects of mixed martial arts. You have boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, grappling, jiu-jitsu. There's so much, and you're wearing smaller gloves. It's not like 10 or 12 ounce gloves they're wearing in there. It's 4 ounce gloves. Right. So a guy might have a great chin, but something you don't see. That's the best punch because he drops them.
Is it because there's so many different styles? In a boxing match, you only have to worry about fist, but in MMA, you got to worry about knees, you got to worry about elbows, somebody submit, kicks to the legs, flying, spinning kicks, all kind of. Is that the reason what you're telling me?
Yeah, definitely. Styles make matchups, and so like with mixed martial arts, you see one guy, it's they try to do a mathematical, like say we fight each other, you beat me, but then I fight Skip, I beat Skip, but then he beats you. It's like a round robin. Right. So
I would beat him.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I'm sitting over here. That's why I'm sitting over here.
He had too lot of class for me and you. He had like that 155 division. You and I heavyweight.
Yeah.
But hold on. You're an MMA. You're the heavyweight champion of the UFC. You're a firefighter and a paramedic. Is Conor McGregor taking all the damn money?
Yeah.
No, he's just good at what he does. He's a good talker. He brings a lot of.
Why are you moonlighting then?
I just like fighting, man. I'm not a good talker. I mumble a lot.
No, but I'm saying, why are you being a firefighter?
You're still full-time firefighter, paramedic, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I love what I do. I work so hard at becoming a firefighter. Why would I give it up?
I love football, but I wasn't trying to do that and do something else.
Yeah.
When you get that McGregor, look here. What you need to do is come to my school of trash talking. I get you right. You get McGregor money.
Send me your card.
That is true. So now I got to get to Shannon's favorite topic on this show. You born and raised in Euclid, which is a suburb of Cleveland, Ohio. So you went to Cleveland State. So you have grown up a LeBron James fan. So I must ask you, after LeBron finally won his third ring this past summer, does he now belong in the conversation with Michael Jordan?
Of course, I think.
Of course.
Since day one, I think.
You heard him, Skip.
Of course, I think he's amazing. Look what he's doing right now.
Thank you.
Look what he's done.
What has he done? I don't know. I'm looking.
He's done a lot. He's got 3 titles. He's got a couple MVPs. And he's amazing at defense. He's good at everything on the court.
He is.
A lot of guys are good at one thing. He's good at everything.
Can you now make the case he's beyond Michael Jordan? Better than?
I think he wins a couple more titles, yes.
A couple more titles. That's like routine, like easier said than done, though, to me,
It seems like he's always going to a title, though, every year. He always even though he's losing, he's always in the title.
When you play in the Eastern Conference, you're going to go every year, right? Because it's a cakewalk.
See, that's what Skip tries to do. Oh, he plays in the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference looks bad because he plays in it. He makes everybody else look second fiddle. Skip.
Well, he does because there's no competition. And it seems that the East is even worse this year than it's been for the last 5 or 6 years.
He's a hater.
I'm not a hater. I'm a truth teller.
Just in case she's one too.
Listen, I'm from Pittsburgh. Yeah, we already got beat. But no, I am a Miami Heat fan, so I have love for LeBron. But I'm even more objective because of that.
Let me ask you a question. How do you're a paramedic, you're a firefighter? How does one go from that to doing what you do now? Or you're a tough guy, you're like, I'm tough. I'm going to see how tough I am. I'm just going to go fight somebody.
No, nothing like that. I think I'm just like being competitive. I love what I do. Being a fighter, I get to train all the time. I have a coach, I have a team. We all train.
What about running marathons? What about playing pickup basketball?
I'm terrible at basketball. I hate running. But yeah, I love fighting, and it's just the competitive nature in me. My whole life I played sports, and unfortunately, I get punched in the face and kicked and stuff. But it's a risk I'm willing to take. When
you go into a fight, do you actually? 16-2. Did you ever hate any of those fighters? When you go into the ring, what's your mindset?
Well, I'm walking out to the ring. I'm thinking, why am I doing this? And then when I get, I go into the octagon. I'm like, I'm ready to do this. It's like another sport, like a football game or baseball game. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to win.
we play game of football. The way we look at it, we look at opposing teams' defenses, and we look at how other teams attack them. When you're breaking down a fighter, you're going to fight. Do you look at other fights that he's had, or do you worry about you, or do you not, or do you worry about him?
It's a little bit of both. You know, when we get the fight announced, I get tape right away. I watch film on him. I look at his tendencies, his strengths, his weaknesses. And me and my coach, we draw up a good game plan, and that's all we work on for the next 8 weeks. But it's also what I want to do. You know, I want him to dictate what he wants to do. Then I'm going to give him the edge. So I still want to do what I want to do, but I also got to watch out for if he throws a lot of combinations that ends with a kick, or even just, there's so many things. So
you got. That makes it hard because you're saying, okay, he might throw a combination, ends in a kick, but then he throws a combination that ends in an elbow, throws a combination and tries to take you down. Your mind is going, because see, when I'm going against a guy, let's just say Skip is guarding me, all I'm worried about is Skip. I'm not worried about the guy on the other side of the field, but you're fighting this guy, and he can do so many different things to you. How do you keep your mind clear from worrying about what he's going to do by also concentrating on what you need to do?
I think your best defense is an offense. So the more you're going forward and making him back up and making him feel uncomfortable, I think it helps you a lot more. And you don't have to worry about so many other things when
right.
You're not giving that edge.
Right.
Stipe, I'm going to give you a piece of advice. If you're going to learn trash talking from him, you got to be ready. Because you seem like a nice guy, and Shannon, when he's talking trash, he holds nothing back, all right? So just be careful with that. Saturday, UFC makes its New York debut. It all starts on FS1 with the biggest prelims card in UFC history, live from Madison Square Garden, 7 Eastern Saturday on FS1. Give it up for Stipe Miočić. Back from New York City. No mercy. The former UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion, Miesha Tate. Miesha, happy to have you here. You'll be fighting Saturday here in New York against Raquel Pennington. What can we expect from you on Saturday?
Just one hell of a performance. Like, this is a career-defining moment for me, so I just want to get back in there and I want to have the fight of my life. Performance of my life, yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you.
I'm assuming you would like at some point to get one more shot at Ronda Rousey. Correct?
Yeah, I mean, I want to get past this fight with Raquel. I definitely don't want to overlook her, but looking at the long goal picture of my career, short-term Raquel, long-term, win that fight and get another rematch with Rousey, whether she's the champion or not. But I still want to get back to that belt, too, so.
So, from a distance, what's your take on where Ronda's head is now after she took a long time off after getting, obviously, rocked and shocked by Holly Holm?
That's a wonderful question. I can't really speak for Rousey because I don't know what's going on. I know that I don't identify with that. I know when I have lost the fight, anytime I want to get right back in there. That's why I'm right back in here now. So I can't say what she is or isn't thinking, but that's the big X factor. That's the question, isn't it? What are we going to get?
Were you surprised at how she just sort of spiraled down after that fight? And there was even talk that she had thoughts of suicide?
Yeah, a little bit. It was kind of a little bit like, what's going on, But that's just what makes the whole thing questionable. Is she really coming back because she really wants to? Or what's going on in that mind of hers? What kind of mind frame, what kind of fighter are we going to get back? UFC 207 makes you wonder.
Maybe she spent a little too much time making movies as opposed to getting ready for that fight?
Oh, now you're just trying to get me to talk trash, aren't you? You're baiting me. You're baiting me. I'm on to you.
Shannon Sharp, one of the greatest trash talkers of all time.
I'm just sitting here minding my business. But you can answer the question if you like.
Yes, you could.
To each his own. She had a wonderful career up until that loss, so we'll see what she comes back with, You can't say, you can win or lose any fight, I can't say that I spent too much time making movies before my last loss, so I can't attribute it to that, So, it's just, sometimes it happens.
If I saw you walking down the street and not walking in the octagon, I was like, okay, that's an attractive lady. But you punch people in the face for a living. How did you get from this to there?
Life is about balance,
Whoa, balance?
Yeah, it's like I got to be really sweet and nice half the time, and then the other time it's like in the cage I'm in there kicking butt. So.
Okay, you were Pennington's coach on UFC. So does that give you a little insight into strength, weaknesses, give you a better opportunity, you think, that you can explore some things?
You might think so, but the thing is it was a while ago. It was at least a couple years ago, so I imagine that she's evolved and changed, and, she also learned little bits of things about my game, but I've also evolved and changed. Fighters change between fights, much less years of fights. So, I got to expect the unexpected. I can't assume that I know everything about Raquel, So I'm kind of preparing still for the, what you can't expect.
So when you were training her, did you teach her everything she knows, or did you teach her everything you know?
That's a good question. We spent about 8 weeks with the athletes, so they come with us like already kind of mostly have their tools. So we try to play into whatever strengths they already have.
Okay.
If that answers your question. Yeah.
So now Ronda Rousey is going to have to deal with a woman you know pretty well in Amanda Nunes, and you weren't able to deal with her the last time. What did you learn from that fight about Amanda? Just what's her style?
She's very aggressive. If there's anyone that can match Rousey's pace in the first round, it's Amanda, absolutely. And she hits really, really hard, so, she's got a lot going for her. She also has some judo, and she has a great, she's a black belt on the ground, so she's very well-rounded, and I think she poses a problem, for anybody.
What would you like to have done differently in that fight?
Not get hit in the face.
See?
That would have been great. No, I just got caught with a really solid right hand right off the bat, and it just kind of took me out of the fight. I tried to stay in there. I tried to do everything that I could to survive that round and get into the second, but I didn't make it. So, I can't dwell on it. I have a fight coming up, then that's going to be my first step towards redemption and that track back to the title.
Would you expect Ronda's going to have a hard time with Amanda?
Every other word out of his mouth is Ronda.
This is how you build up the fights.
Right. No, so would I expect that she's going to have a hard time? Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I don't think this is going to be a walkthrough by any means, and I would not be surprised if she does not win this fight, but I hope that whatever happens, that she doesn't retire afterwards.
Do you not like talking about Ronda? What is it about Ronda that rubs you the wrong way?
Well, it might be a shorter list of what doesn't.
Okay, just give us the top two.
We're just so different, and we've always butted heads in our career. I am thankful for her to have her as a rival because I think it's done great things for our career. But at the end of the day, it's just, I have this fight to focus on, and I really don't want to be focusing on Rousey. I understand everybody else wants to know what I think, but I just want to talk about Raquel and UFC 205 because that's where my mindset is. And, Rousey is a goal in the distant future, but not right now.
Would you be okay talking about Conor McGregor?
Of course.
Okay, good.
Oh, you like him, huh?
Uh-huh.
Well, he's great. He's wonderful for the sport. He's a mastermind, He really is. He's a great athlete.
Mastermind?
I think so. I just think he's wonderful at selling the fights. I think he's very creative in how he does everything, and he's also a really spectacular athlete, so what can you say, Puts on great fights.
Are you going to develop that repertoire of trash talking?
No, I wouldn't be able to carry it as well as Conor would. I would be stumbling over my words. He's so witty. He's got it down pat. I'll leave that to him. I'll just continue fighting on all of his cards.
So what's your take on the hypothetical potential of a fight between Conor and Floyd Mayweather Jr. if they just boxed?
I would be watching, that's for sure, But you got to think that, as amazing as Conor is at his striking and everything, you still have to think that, we're talking about a multiple world champion, one of the best boxers of all time that's specialized in his sport, specifically for what he does. You have to think that...
Can you speak into that mic? Because I need him to hear this, because he keeps talking about Conor McGregor could beat Floyd Mayweather in boxing.
I didn't say beat. I said could hang in there for 12 rounds.
Oh, well, I don't know, man. I think that boxing, you just can't compare. It's like apples and oranges. As great as Conor looks, he is still fighting, MMA fighters where there's a different style. You're going to put him in a totally different arena and totally different realm, but I would watch it. You would watch it too. You
absolutely,
would watch it. Everybody would watch it.
Because I want to I would watch the fight, but I need to be with him.
Right.
Because when Floyd starts raining them haymakers down on him, and he's looking away like that, look at it, watch it. I want you to watch it.
You know what Conor would say about those quote-unquote haymakers? Is that all you got, Floyd? Because I don't think Floyd has a lot. He's almost 40 years old. He hasn't knocked anybody out in about a decade.
You see how disrespectful he is?
Well, I'm just telling the truth. Seriously. Well, I think Conor could just hang in. Do I think he has the skill to box? I don't. But is Conor a tough guy with a good chin?
You think you'd make it all 12 rounds?
Yeah, I do. Because I don't think
that, do you?
I don't know, man. It's one of those things
Is it the punch? Is it the punch that you don't see, or the intensity of the punch that hurts the most?
I just think the movement and footwork and all that stuff that Mayweather has down so pat. I don't know if Conor would really be able to touch Mayweather. You know what I mean? That's what I
She
think.
in the fight game, she said touch. She didn't say hit, she said touch it.
I get that part.
I don't know.
But again, Floyd's like a pillow fighter. He just doesn't hit anybody.
Yeah,
He has no punching power.
Maybe he could hang in there for, maybe he'd hang in there, but I still think that Floyd would win.
Miesha, let me ask you this. If somebody hit you over the head with a pillow for 3 minutes, for 10 rounds, it would hurt after some point, wouldn't it?
It might, yeah. It must start to rattle your brain a little bit.
It wouldn't hurt.
He has this love-hate relationship with Floyd, but that's okay. You and I got Floyd.
Yeah, you two got Floyd.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And,
So now you're...
and guess what? I'm on her side against Ronda Rousey, too, now.
Thank you.
She got a new fan. I'm with her. She's doing 2-minute movies. She doesn't, see, Miesha doesn't moonlight. She's true to her craft. Hey, this is what I do. I'm going to stick to what I do.
Okay, but I'm not sure. This is just me. You don't even have to comment. I don't think Ronda is going to fight more than one more time because I think she's going to have a hard time with Amanda, and I think that will probably be the end of her career.
I'm not going to disagree with you. If she loses, I wouldn't feel like it's too far to say it might be her last fight or would be her last fight.
No, tell us, don't retire. Say, I owe you a butt cutting.
I
Say,
know.
One more fight, I owe you one.
So, whatever happens, I hope that it's not her last one. That's all I can say.
But let me ask you this. She said the end of her journey is coming up. If you're in this game, can you be thinking about retirement and still be where you need to be mentally?
Man, I don't know. I think it makes me think that maybe she's doing this more out of obligation than because she really wants to. Right. And if your heart's not in it, if you don't really want to, this is a very dangerous sport to play with. You don't really want to play with this, you know?
Exactly.
So it just makes you wonder.
No mercy. This is the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast, where we're delivering you an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the biggest topics of the day's show. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, like us on Facebook at Undisputed on FS1, follow on Twitter at Undisputed, and catch us at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, Monday through Friday on FS1. You can find us on Channel 219 on DirecTV, 150 on Dish. Thanks for listening. I'm Joy Taylor. We'll be back tomorrow again from New York City. We'll be joined by UFC President Dana White and UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion Amanda Nunes. See you then.
Fox Sports, one of one.